Angela Merkel was a nudist. Mama, wrong. Papa, wrong. Christos, okay, we'll take that. 9. Olive oil is not essential. This is Germany. Russian oil is essential. Are you also from Romania, young lady? Very nice, an import. All right, okay, very good. Where are you from, young lady? Latvia? I'm not sure if people are from Latvia or they're just happy they know of it. Latvia, we've heard this name before. Very good. Are you from Lithuania or Latvia?
No, but people always.
They convene, yeah. It's very nice. Yes, like a lot of people tend to do that with like, oh, Budapest, Bucharest. Get it right, motherfucker. It's like confusing India with Pakistan. Okay, it's not okay. Even when I actually came to study in the UK for Manchester up north, and when I was coming here, my mom was like, Dragos, you're going to the UK. You're going to the good world. You're going to the UK. You're going to the good world. Because to my mom, everything west of Romania is the good world, okay? Everything west of Romania, maybe not Hungary, but everything west of Romania, with the exception of Hungary, is the good world, okay? So you're like, you have to go to the good world, Dragos. In the good world, they live different. They are civilized, Dragos. Yes, everybody in the UK. I must help you impress your neighbors in the UK. This is why I have bought for you a set of matching pajama pants and shirt, Dragos, because this is how the civilized world lives. They have matching pajama pants and shirt. I'm like, Mom, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's talk to some of you guys over here, see what we have. What about the young lady over there? Where are you from, young lady?
From Hong Kong.
From Hong Kong, and you've moved here to London. We're not going to ask why, we're going to ask when. How long ago have you been in London for?
Last year.
Last year, okay, well, now we know why. Okay. And what is your name?
Nikki.
Nikki, and what do you do here, Nikki? What is your occupation?
I study here.
Study. What is the object of your study?
Graphic design.
Graphic design, okay, so you want jobs. Okay, very nice. And you're here with your friends also from Hong Kong, or?
Yeah, awesome.
And this is your idea, or whose idea was it?
My sole idea.
You were swiping and this feels good. Very nice. So you guys are all students here? No, we make money. We have jobs, actually. We figured out what we want to do with our lives, and it's not graphic design, let me tell you that. Nice. What is your name, young lady?
Alice.
Alice, and what do you do?
I work in finance.
Finance, okay, so the devil, that's fine, okay. I can't say the devil in London, I mean the Russian, that's what Hey, we know where that money's from, okay, very nice.
Well, in Russian now, maybe.
Oh?
For my occupation, maybe.
Former occupation, very nice. Let's not use the word Russian occupation in the same sentence. I think it's not. I think it's not good. Okay, very nice. The gentleman over here, sir, also from Hong Kong?
Yes.
Are you also in finance, or?
No, I work for performing arts administration.
Performing arts administration? Yes. You know, some people consider stand-up comedy an art. Some people, but not my mother, okay? This is very nice. Round of applause for them, guys. They came all the way out here. And let's talk. What else do we have over here? What about the gentleman with the clear lack of hair? What's your name, sir? What is? Yes. What is your name? Like the light is right above you, and you're like killing me. Antonio. Anatoly. Okay, very nice. You told me you're from Moldova, yes?
Yes.
Do you guys know Moldova?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. If you don't know, give it 1 year and a half. It'll be in the news. Okay. And you've come, Anatoly, from Moldova. Chisinau?
No, sir.
Bulți?
Almost.
Bulți is a city in Chisinau that means puddles. Because sometimes you give names from things you have. You know, this is very nice. What do you do, Anatoly?
Accounting.
Accounting? Oh, what's your favorite number? Huh?
9, let's say.
69, bro. This is that's the only acceptable answer, you know? You should use that on Tinder, yes. And Anatoly, you're here with your friends, your girlfriend, your sister?
No, just random.
Just random person that I don't. I'm Anatolian. This is random. We are together. We will never be friends. You guys don't know each other, yes? What is your name?
This comment will
No. Like, I felt something, but now I don't. Okay. Nice. Where you? Oh, the friend is like, no, I'm not. I also am not sleeping with him tonight. See, Anatoly, this is the thing. As a guy, sometimes you just have to. Very nice. And the ladies, where are you guys from?
Romania.
Oh, Romania. Very nice. So you guys, so Romania, Moldova. How do you feel about reunification with Moldova? It was like before this comment, I was for it, but now, very nice. Where in Romania are you from?
Oradea.
Oradea. Okay, very nice. Your friend also from Oradea?
Timișoara.
Timișoara. Oh, nice in the west. That's everybody's like, oh, Timișoara. It's the opposite of Moldova. This is literally. And you guys moved here how long ago?
Too many years ago.
Too many years ago. Do you guys go back to Romania often?
Last time I've been like 5 years ago. Oh, wow.
What the fuck? And I thought I hated my family.
You understand.
Yeah, it's very nice. But I've been going more and more to Romania this year because of comedy. And I went back in August, and I was surprised to see how good things are getting at the moment. You might not believe this, but things are getting better. There's a level of opulence that I had never seen before. And I realized this while I was walking in Bucharest on the street, and I walked into a corner store in August to get a bottle of water because it was hot. And the lady, she wasn't paying attention to me because she was watching the war on TV, season 2. And I say to her, it's terrible what's happening with this war. And then she says to me, it is, but do you want to know the truth? I was like, what is this level of opulence at the moment in Romania where you have the truth about the war? Because they don't give it to us in Germany. And you have the truth about the war here in the same establishment that also sells sliced salami? Like, what's the deal? Do I have to buy the sliced salami to get the truth about the war? And she said, of course. Well, cut me 300 grams of that sliced salami and let's hear the truth about the war. And he says, okay, this is the truth about the war. Are you paying attention? I'm like, yeah. This is the truth about the war. Angela Merkel was a nudist. I was like, what war are you talking about? Because yours sounds more fun than mine. I think I do want to hear about the nudism wars. No, listen up. Angela Merkel was a nudist, and she used to spend a lot of time in Eastern Europe doing nudism, okay? Back in the 90s, she was walking around in the nude. Everybody knows. I'm like, yeah, everybody. And that's when it happened. That's when the Russians, they got naked photos of Angela Merkel. And for the past 20 years, they have been blackmailing the German political system with these nudes of Angela Merkel. And this is how their greatest win was in 2014, because they used the nudes of Angela Merkel in 2014. Did you see the nudes, sir? I saw them, they're good. Fun fact, if you Google nudes Angela Merkel, you'll see them, okay? But because of these nudes of Angela Merkel, the biggest win for the Russians was in 2014, because they used these nudes of Angela Merkel to convince the Germans to shut down their nuclear reactors. I mean, so far the timeline matches, okay? So far the timeline makes sense. And now Germany was over-reliant on Russian oil and gas, and it was great for Putin, but everything changed in 2021, because in 2021 something big happened. In 2021, Angela Merkel, she stepped down as the Chancellor of Germany, and Germany got a new Chancellor, Olaf Scholz. And this was terrible for the Russians, because the Russians, they have zero nudes of Olaf Scholz, okay? They don't have even one measly dick pic, okay? They don't have anything. So the only option left was to invade Ukraine to get nudes of Olaf Scholz. And this is the truth about the war. And I was like, wow. I gotta be honest with you, when I walked into this corner store and you told me you had the truth about the war, I was skeptical. But boy, oh boy, you delivered. Not only did you deliver, but you over-delivered, because you gave me the naked truth, okay? Let's talk to more of you guys. What about the gentleman over here, the Bolivian, sir? What's your name, sir? Israel? How do you feel about Kanye? You get it? All right. Israel, and you are from Bolivia. And how did you end up here, sir? You have come here for love?
I'm doing a PhD here.
A PhD? That's a pretty huge degree. She's like, yeah, it is. What is your PhD in Israel?
Construction management.
Construction management? You work with a lot of Romanians? Thanks for the support. Now, what kind of construction do you manage?
Bridges.
Bridges? Speaking of Ukraine. Oh, very nice. Nice. And your friend over here, where are you from, young lady?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Oh, look at that. Looks like you're building some bridges with him. How did you guys meet, the two of you? Instagram?
Yeah.
Well, this sounds weird. Did you slide into her DMs or?
Yeah.
What did you search? Like recent refugees or what was it? Like hashtag recent refugee in London? Or how did you even come across her?
We don't remember really.
You don't remember? Hashtag help. Okay. How long you guys been together for?
Nearly 3 months now.
3 months. You go, girl. You get that. Very nice. And you guys have you guys? I'm assuming you haven't moved in together yet.
No.
She was like soon. I have a lot of friends at the moment that are moving in together in Berlin, mostly because of the gas prices. But there's this, they have a debate. They're like debating on who's going to be taking out the trash because the movement is now taking out the trash is a gender-specific role. So the man shouldn't have to take out the trash. I have a friend of mine. She moved in with her boyfriend, and she was like, "We're not gonna have this gender-specific task around the house. I'm gonna take out the trash 1 week. He's gonna take out the trash next week, and I'm gonna take out the trash next week." And I spoke with her 5 weeks in, and it turns out the boyfriend was the trash. So, because I wanted to leave the pandemic with some positive emotion, I didn't want this to be like a traumatizing period. I wanted to leave by doing something nice for myself. I give myself my gift for all the suffering. So I decided that at the end of the pandemic, I would give myself the gift of buying a ticket to Mexico, a little trip to Mexico. This is a nice gift, right? But I do still try to stay true to my culture, my Eastern European culture. So I did get a ticket to Mexico, but I put a lot of effort in finding the cheapest ticket possible. And I found a ticket that was 70% off, and I'll give you guys a little travel hack. If you travel anywhere in the world, be sure to travel on the 31st of December, because that's when you find the cheapest tickets, okay? So while you guys were spending New Year's with your friends and families, I was in the air for 12 hours with random strangers. And I think I had better company. But I was very excited to go to Mexico because I was going to Mexico now with a European passport, okay? Because Romania has been part of the European Union since 2007, and this means you can travel to Mexico for up to 6 months without a visa. This also means that one German passport, one French passport equals one Romanian passport, okay? Nobody's happy about it, but it's true, okay? This is what we're in at the moment. Now, I used to do this joke about one Romanian passport equals one British passport, and then you left. You did a Brexit, so here we are. But I can always do this joke in Germany because Germany can never do a Brexit, okay? Because a German Brexit is Jerksit. Yes, it's... All right, then Jerksit for me, Germans. They just Jerksit for me. And I wanted to, to have a little, it's a little privilege, but I wanted to experience it as well, right? So I landed in Mexico at 7 p.m. on the 31st of December, and I showed the guy my passport, and his first question was, where's your visa? And I'm like, well, you see, amigo, I am from Romania, and because of this, I can be in Mexico for up to 6 months without a visa, because Romania is part of the European Union. And then he said, why? Why? Why what? Why is Romania part of the European Union? This question again? Okay, well let me tell you something, hermano, okay? Let me tell you. Because of Romania's strategic and geographic positioning in the continent of Europe, because of this strategic positioning, the USA and NATO pushed for us to join the European Union so they could place anti-Russian rocket missiles on the territory of Romania to protect against a potential Russian aggression. And I know this doesn't make any sense to you now, December 31st, 2021. But give it 2 months, amigo, okay? And I promise you, it becomes muy relevante, okay? Necesitamos, okay? And then he said, no, you're not coming in. And I'm like, pero como? And I was rejected entry into Mexico on the 31st of December, 2021. Now make some noise if you've ever been rejected entry to a country before. All right, okay, well let me tell you, you guys are all in good position. What happens is if they reject you entry to a country, what they do is the following thing. Now I had flown to Mexico from Berlin, okay? But usually the process is they look at your passport and they try to send you back. Now, I flew from Berlin, but they were like, yeah, we're going to have to send you back to Romania at the moment. I'm like, por favor, no, no me entiendes, no, por favor. Mi familia es en Romania, por favor, no se puede. So I negotiated by crying for 30 minutes. And he said, okay, cálmate, cálmate. We are not going to send you back to Romania, but we will have to interrogate you. So he took me to the interrogation room, and I was never interrogated. I didn't know what to expect, but I certainly did not expect this, okay? Because he put me down in the interrogation room, he opened his laptop, and he Googled Romania. And then he read for like 30 minutes on Wikipedia. And about 20 minutes in, he's like, and then he turns to me and he's like, Romania? Pero conoces Dracula? And I'm like, is this an official immigration question? Because my answer will vary. Because if this is an official immigration question, then claro, como no, mi padre, no? And I was allowed entry into Mexico because in life, you get a lot of stuff done if you know people in high places, okay? And I had a splendid time in Mexico. I had a wonderful time in Mexico, an amazing time in Mexico. My second day in Mexico, I discovered that I had COVID. So you might be thinking, what a disaster, Dragos. Well, I wanted to be extremely responsible about it, okay? So I went to the first Mexican doctor I could find, and I apologized. I said, Doctor, perdóname. Please forgive me, doctor, but I have done something extremely European. I have brought disease to Latin America. Perdón, doctor. So you're from Spain, Vicky, and your friends over here, where are they from? From Italia, Spain, Italy. Do you feel like things are getting better in Italy? Wrong country to ask about. What's your name, Italian lady? Noemi. Noemi, and you also a civil engineer, or what kind of engine do you near? Accounting. Very nice. Your friend over here, sir, you also, where are you from?
I'm Nigerian.
Nigerian, and do you feel like things are getting...
I think you answered it for me.
I was going to say, I like a majority of my audience, we all come together in the Venn diagram of being poor. You know, this is like where we are coming together here, yes? Nice, and what do you do here, sir? What is your occupation?
I am a consultant.
A consultant? That's what I tell my mom I do. Dragos, but what do you actually do? I'm a consultant, Mama. When you tell you're a consultant, they don't ask you any follow-up questions. Thank you very much. Very nice. And how long have you guys been friends? How long do you guys know each other? Are you guys together? Are you just friends, or what is happening here? You're like, I don't know these ladies. Ah, very nice. And whose idea was it to come to the show? Oh, yes. Okay, very nice. You're the Romanian lady, yes? Okay, very nice. Well, thank you for getting them to pay. You get a cut at the end. Okay, very nice. And how do you guys know this young Romanian lady? Oh, look at you. Have you been to Romania?
Yeah.
And did you like it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing? The nature. I understand. The people. The food is great as well. Yeah, there's a lot of murder in the... I mean, you have to keep the spirit in the food. That's what gives it the taste. Where in Romania did you go?
I went to Costinești.
Costinești, that's... oddly specific. Yeah, that's the seaside. It's like the Miami of Romania. If you minus the Mai. That's it. You like Costinești? It's a nice little...
It was pretty good. We had a friend's house that we stayed at. So.
Oh, a friend's house. Very nice. And did you kind of like, what else did you guys, what did you show them?
We went to Sinaia.
Sinaia, okay.
The castle.
The castle, Dracula's castle. Elon Musk went there recently. Oh, sorry, my bad. I keep confusing. Like, we have a lot of castles. None of them are originally ours. It's like, these castles are kind of like BMWs. We find a way. Very nice. But I was talking to my mom quite a lot during the pandemic because my mom, in the middle of the pandemic, she did something very, very brave. She moved away from Romania in the middle of the pandemic. She moved to the island of Malta. Very impressive, right? Make some noise. You ever been to Malta? A couple of guys, you've been to Malta, young lady? What was your impression? How would you describe Malta to these people?
I guess it's like Buzău, but 3 times bigger.
Well, I've heard other. Some people have described it as a mix between LA and Baghdad. So it's not far from the truth, you know. Buzău is kind of like LA meets Baghdad, okay? How long were you there for?
10 days.
10 days, okay. That's a long time. You have money, okay. Very nice. What's your name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, and you also from, where are you from?
Brașov, Romania.
Oh, Brașov, Romania. That's where the bears are from. Okay. Very nice. So you went to Malta and you walked around. It was nice, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the difficulty for my mom was she moved there in the middle of the pandemic, and at the age of 60, she had difficulties making friends, right? Sometimes when you move to a different city, it's difficult to make friends. So I was giving her some advice on how to make friends based on my experience in Berlin. Because when I moved to Berlin, I would try out different strategies to make friends. And what I would do is I would go to all the meetups I could find, all the events I could find in English. I would go there and just talk to people. I even went to an essential oils meetup. I showed up there with a bottle of olive oil. I'm like, essential. But the whole meetup in Berlin was basically 5 German ladies in their 60s, and they were not impressed. They were like, 999! Olive oil is not essential. And they're like, I'm sorry. Then what is? This is Germany. Russian oil is essential. I was like, wait, this meetup is a lot more political than I thought it would be like. Did not expect that. So I gave my mom this advice, and she was like, Dragos, you're not thinking. You don't think. I'm 60. It's the middle of the pandemic. If I go out to make friends, the more friends I make, the more friends I lose. Well, I was like, well, you're not wrong. So what my mom would do to keep her social life active is she would talk to people that she already knew from Romania on Facebook. She would talk to them every day. She would talk to them every day. She would talk to them every day until they started unfriending her. But then she reached a group of individuals that was more than keen to talk to her. And this group of individuals was a little bit suspicious because it was mostly comprised of my teachers from secondary school. And apparently they can't stop talking shit about me. Because my mom told them, you know, Dragos, at the moment he is doing a stand-up comedy. And their response was, and people pay? Yes, Dragos, he goes there on a stage, he talks to people, they give him money, like a priest. Like a priest. Because that's how my mom understands stand-up comedy, right? It's like, and it was also always her dream for me to become a priest, right? She's like, Dragos, you have to become a priest. I was like, why, Mom? Why should I become a priest? Dragos, job stability. People always die. I was like, you're not wrong. But it's very interesting. During the pandemic, I was trying to focus on improving my relationship with my parents a little bit more. You know, and the pandemic came around. My mom is 60, my dad is 70, and I was like, this is it. So I don't really know exactly how to improve relationship with my parents. So I started Googling mental health on YouTube, okay? And I found a guy who had 50 views on YouTube on a video, and I was like, this guy's not doing it for the money, okay? This guy, his intentions are pure, okay? And in the video, he said the following thing. He said, if you want to improve your relationship with your parents, you have to understand this. If your parents are currently 60 and you visit them once a year, then you don't have your parents for 20 more years. You have your parents for 20 more visits. I'm like, wow, this is eye-opening, right? So I thought to myself, once the lockdown was lifted, I'm going to visit my parents. And I spent 2 weeks with my mom, I spent 2 weeks with my dad. Now I have a whole new vision on the world. I've decided to visit them once every 5 years. Let's wrap it up, guys. Let's wrap it up. But it was very interesting. I was talking to my parents during the pandemic. I was talking to my mom quite a lot. And I was talking to her because 2022 is a very big and important year for me and my mother. Because in 2022, we are celebrating 7 years since my grandma died. Celebrating? She deserved it. But because 7 years have passed, you guys, 7 years have passed, what we have to do now is we have to have a serious conversation on whether we are going to respect tradition or not. And I come from a small city in Romania. It's called Buzău. It's very famous. We have McDonald's. But they built the first McDonald's in 1998. And when they built that McDonald's, we had one McDonald's in the city and 120 churches. When they built that first McDonald's, I thought it was a church from the future. I was like, does the M stand for Maria? Even the priest was like, no, it stands for money. But my mom grew up in a village next to Buzău. My grandma also grew up there. And according to my mom, the tradition is if 7 years have passed since your loved one has died, you have to engage with a concept that we all are familiar with this concept from YouTube. It is the concept of an unboxing. But instead of an iPhone, it's my grandma. So according to my mom, we have to dig up my grandma because 7 years have passed, and we have to open up her casket. And I don't know if you've ever now opened up the casket of a loved one after 7 years, but if you do go down this path, a quick heads up. 2 scenarios in front of you. Best case scenario, your loved one is still dead. Worst case scenario, they're not. But apparently what we have to do is 7 years have passed since your loved one has died. What we have to do is, if 7 years have passed, what you have to do is you have to open up the casket and you have to take the bones from the casket and you have to make borscht. I'm joking. That's not the tradition. I'm joking. That's not the tradition, guys. I'm joking. Well, let's see how inflation goes this year. Maybe it does become the tradition, okay? Let's see how inflation goes this year. No, but the actual tradition is we have to take the bones from the grave and we have to take them to the church, and at the church, the priest washes the bones in wine. This is what my mom said, okay? And then you take the bones, you put it back into the grave, and it's game over, grandma, for good. Now, when I tell this to people, they always ask me, Dragos, this sounds like a lot of work. Did you have to do this for every member of your family that has died? And this is when I tell them, actually, there was no need to do this for my grandfather because my grandfather's bones were already soaking in alcohol. Very nice. Are you both from Poland? What is your name, the other lady?
Iga.
What? You went Eurovision on me. Iga. Is it Iga?
It's Iga, but in the UK, it's Iga.
Huh? Interesting. I also, when I first moved to the UK, I also changed my name because Dragos was a bit too aggressive. I wanted to have something a bit more local, so I changed my name to Rajesh. Very nice. And you've come here to study, or what brings you here?
We work.
You work, very nice, contributing, paying taxes. What is your job, Iga?
Banking.
Banking as well. Everybody's in banking. Okay, next time, more expensive tickets. Okay. And you've been away from Poland now for how many years?
17.
Whoa. You really said, thank you, no. And 17 years, do you still follow Polish news?
That's why my best friend is Polish. She tells me everything.
Well, that's not good for your mental health. Because I gotta be honest with you, I was following Romanian news for a long time, but now I no longer follow Romanian news because, very simple, Romanian news follows me. And I usually need like a friend of mine sometimes I'm the only Romanian they know, so they send me articles they find because sometimes they pop up on Euronews or somewhere. But last year was a big year for Romanian news because I had about like 4 friends from the UK send me the same article. And they're like, Dragos, have you seen this article about Romania on the front page of the BBC? And I'm like, oh no. And they sent me over the article, and this was the title of the article. The title of the article was Romanian Priest Drowns Baby in Baptism. And all my friends from the UK, they're like, Dragos, what the fuck is happening in Romania? And why are the priests drowning babies? So now, of course, I have to defend my country. I have to be like, hey man, this is culturally insensitive. This is my culture, okay? Don't judge our traditions, okay? Because in Romania, we are Christian Orthodox, okay? And it is a very important part of the Christian Orthodox faith that every child gets a baptism. And the baptism process is straightforward, nothing complex. You take a child by the leg. And you use a cheese grating motion to dip the child in holy water until the child's first word is Jesus, okay? If the child doesn't say Jesus, you don't stop, okay? Mama, wrong! Papa, wrong! Christos, okay, we'll take that. A lot of my friends, when I told them this, like, Dragos, this is not okay. Isn't this dangerous, Dragos? This sounds extremely dangerous. I'm like, of course it's dangerous. But this is the first thing you have to understand about Eastern Europe. Only the strong survive. Because if you can't survive the baptism, then how are you going to survive the medical system? How are you going to survive the educational system? You think you can handle metaphors if you can't even handle the baptism? But no, Dragos, this is not okay. For the love of God. Hey, man, you're using the word love in an incorrect manner, okay? Let me teach you something else. This is not how we use the word love in Eastern Europe. This is how, the correct way of using the word love is this. Dragos, if you really loved me, you would take out the trash. See, the original purpose of the word love is for emotional blackmail, of course. This is why we have it. But no, Dragos, you have to do something about this. This is very troubling. You have to look into the situation. And I was like, you know what? I am actually a bit suspicious of this news because there's a lot of fake news circulating around the internet, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to read this article in the original language it was written in Romanian. So I'll find out if this was fake news or not. So I went and I read the original article in Romanian. And I was shocked to find out that this was a little bit misreported. Because in the original article in Romanian, it was clearly stated that they did an autopsy on the baby. And the baby did not drown. This was fake news. The baby had a heart attack from the shock. So this is a completely different cause of death, okay? This is completely different. The title of the article should have been Romanian priest shocks baby with the Holy Trinity. But had the baby drowned, what better way to drown than drowning in holy water? Isn't that a fast track to heaven? But I was given some positive advice, positive advice when I left Romania, positive advice. But even the positive advice has a hint of this worst case scenario mindset in it, okay? Because when I left Romania, my mom told me, like, Dragos, you're going to the good world. And you go to the good world, you should be kind to others, you should be helpful to others, you should be do everything in your possible to help others. However, if anyone is ever kind or helpful to you, you should be extremely suspicious, okay? Because you can be kind to others, but others want to steal your shit, okay? So there is an actually obsession, there is a permeation of this worst case scenario mindset in a lot of the culture. So this is why at the end of the show, I like to encourage you guys that when you go out into the world, try to leave some of that worst case scenario mindset here and try to embrace more of a best case scenario mindset. How can things go in a positive way for you this year, okay? And stop worrying so much about your neighbors. Don't worry about your neighbors, unless your neighbor is Russia, then worry. But this is the end of the show, guys. Thank you very much for coming out. Round of applause for yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had fun. Thank you for coming out. We are, thank you. I appreciate you guys.